Oh, hi, Bruce Naylor, your Frugal Tech. Hey, I want to talk to you about working from home. You know, a lot of us do it every day, but there's a lot of people would like to, but maybe they're not so sure on the technology they need to have to make that happen. So the purpose of this video today is to kind of talk about some of the tools that are out there in order to effectively work from home and some of the things you may need. Now, I will tell you right up front that you pretty much have to have a broadband connection to really make it work. So what are some of these things? Well, I'm going to do it in kind of a two-step process. The first thing I want to talk about is connecting with your office, and then the second part we'll talk about communicating with your coworkers. So let's get right to it, and let's talk about some of the things that are out there right now that allows you to work from home. And the first thing is the Outlook. It's called Outlook Web Access, and basically you don't need anything more than a computer running a web browser to get in there and look at your email. You're going to be able to look at your tasks, your calendar, read and respond to email pretty nicely. The downshot is though you can't really access like your personal Outlook folders back at work or anything like that with the Outlook Web Access. So if that's really all you need to be doing, it might be a really good solution for you. Another thing that you may have to have is called a VPN. A VPN just really is a tunnel through the internet between your computer there at home or on the road and to the corporate or home office network, and that's what a VPN is. And so your computer is just like it was connected back to the network at the office, and that allows you to do things like share files and folders and all that sort of thing, as well as you can use the Outlook, full version of the Outlook client. Now this is a little bit more complex to set up. Probably need some help with the IT department to get all that going. And if you're trying to do it through a dial-up connection, you're probably going to be pretty disappointed with the results. Another tool is called Remote Desktop Connection, or the Remote Desktop, RDC. Now look, this is a Microsoft technology that I'm talking about, but there are some free things out there as well. But essentially what this does is it allows you to use your remote computer, your office computer, remote control it from your PC at home or out on the road. You may have to connect to your company computer network first before you can connect to your computer. This is typically going to be built into the Vista Business Edition and the Vista Ultimate Editions. I think the Vista Home Basic does not come with with RDC. Now that being said, there are some other tools out there as well. I happen to like LogMeIn Free, which is very, very nice for that sort of thing. Doesn't cost anything to remote control your computer back at the office. There's also Go to My PC, which is a paid service. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. And with the web-based versions, you don't really need to connect to the office network first. So it's very, very slick if you've ever give those a whirl. Now finally, another device you can try, of course, is your Windows smartphone or your PDA. Depending on what you're trying to do, as well as getting your Exchange email, your contacts, your calendar, your task, all that, maybe it'll look at some documents somebody sends them to you. Smartphones are okay, but they're really no substitute for a laptop or a PC. It's just kind of a quick and dirty kind of thing. But maybe that's all you need to work from home. I don't know. That's going to be your requirement. You need to sit down and write out those requirements. So those are different ways to connect to your work PC. But what about the other part of our work? Like, we're connected, but how do we communicate with people? And what kind of tech tools are out there for that? Well, the first thing, of course, is email. And it's a great way of exchanging a lot of information. You can get it out to a lot of different people. You can send documents back and forth via email. But there are some downsides to if you try to do everything through email, of course, is one's a lack of a timely response. People will reply to email right when they get an opportunity to. It's not really good for brainstorming or that sort of thing. It's not really a meeting tool, not designed to be that. So what's the next step? Well, the next level would go with an instant messaging program such as Windows Live Messenger. There's others out there, and people have their personal preferences as what's best out there. But for the sake of this video, we'll talk about Windows Messenger. Well, now that gives you a one-on-one real-time type conversation, which is very, very nice to have. But still not it's not really good for more than a one-on-one type of meeting. Yeah, you can kind of get groups together and that sort of thing. It also doesn't keep like an automatic written record of conversations like an email, a series of emails would. So keep that in mind. Now, if you want to conduct meetings, there's a lot of different tools to do that. There's Windows Live Meeting, which you can get. There is GoToMeeting. There's some Zoho has a free little meeting application. There's several different ways to do that. I like those type of applications because typically you can have multiple people invited in the meeting. You can have a audio conferencing going on, so people have a dial-in number and PIN code, and you can share the screen, do presentations and all that remotely. So it makes real-time brainstorming and collaboration a whole lot easier. So that's another technology you want to keep in mind. Now, what about things like sharing documents and working on projects together and all that? Well, Microsoft has their Live Workspace. Google Docs has a system. Zoho has a system. Some are free, some you have to pay for. But essentially, in the Microsoft version, you can synchronize contacts, tasks with a project to your Outlook client. People can check documents in and out. Very, very nice. It's just kind of in the cloud's digital workspace. Some are free, some are paid for. Excuse me. So there's a lot you can do there. There are some limitations, generally based on the amount of storage space that you're going to use. And remember, these live on the clouds in the internet. So those are some of the technologies for connecting to the office, as well as, of course, meeting and collaborating with people. But don't forget the good old-fashioned telephone. It's still a great way to do business. So don't forget telephone conferences. Just remember one thing. Don't try to multitask when you're sitting there on a phone conference. Try to focus on that. We really can't hear you typing in the background on something else. So I wanted to finish this with a few little tips. And these are kind of more towards somebody maybe who's not necessarily running their own company, but trying to get some telecommuting done. We make appointments with people, but let's make sure that also you make appointments for phone calls. And stay focused on the conference. As I said, don't try to multitask when you're doing a phone conference. Attend weekly staff meetings. Make sure that people see you at least once or twice a week there at the office, and kind of stay in the loop. And remember to stay on the line as long as you can, because there's some folks that just get the opinion that you're not working because if you're not online, even though you might be working 40, 60, 80, 70 hours a week at your job. And remember, be proactive. Reach out to people. Don't wait for them to get with you if you feel like there's some information you didn't receive. These are some tips and some technologies to use for working at home. Love to hear from you and get your input on this. I'm Bruce Naylor, your Frugal Tech. Make sure to join us at www.frugal, that's F-R-U-G-A-L brothers.com. And remember, if it's in your shop, not making you money or saving you money, get it out of there. I'll talk to you later.